such a pretty green to go with her dress, pretty as the spring-fresh stem of a rosebud. She would wear it, and Wallace would know that she loved him, and then maybe, just maybe, in another year, after Wallace had finished high school, they could talk to his folks about getting married. Even if the Hansfords said they had to wait a while longer, until Bertie was 16 or 17, she could leave school and get a job, and with her and Wallace both working and saving up, they could get a place of their own straight off. Mabel would be upset to know Bertie was thinking this way. Lately, Mabel had talked as hopefully about her finishing high school as Mama once had. All through that sad winter after the doctor, fearing for the baby, had put Mama to bed. Every afternoon when 9-year-old Bertie got in from school, she hurried into Mama's room, not pausing long enough even to take off her damp coat. She would lean in, kiss Mama with her wind-frozen lips, then turn to hug Mabel, who would take the coat to the kitchen to dry. While her sister started supper, Bertie sat in the bed beside her mother. "When the baby comes," Bertie said, "I'll stay home to help." "You'll still be in school." Mama pulled her close. "Don't you mind what your stepdaddy says. We'll work it out. Mabel's here now, and I'll have both my girls to help me through the summer." Mama's voice was tired, tinged around the edges with uncertainty, but firm at the center. "Come the autumn, I want the two of you back in school where you belong." When Mama talked, Bertie believed her. But then at supper, in between mouthfuls of stew, their stepfather, Jim Butcher, not looking straight at either of them, would tell the girls what was on his mind. "You've had enough school," he said to Mabel. "Reckon even too much." He stabbed his fork toward Bertie before filling it again. "Even she's had more than I had, and I had more than my daddy. You know how to read, write, do all the sums you're liable to need. That's plenty enough." "But when Mama's stronger," Mabel began. "Then there'll be another one along." At one time or another, it seemed like everybody in Juniper had heard Jim Butcher tell his story, always when he was drinking, about how, when he'd made it across the field of wheat and lay alone in a thicket in Belleau Wood, lay gasping, covered in the mixed muck of rotting leaves, pine needles, blood, and flesh, God had spoken to him and promised him 3 sons. But Jim Butcher's only son had died before he could take even one breath. 2 days the baby had battled to be born, and when he gave up, he took Mama with him. That, losing Mama, had been the worst thing possible. And yet Bertie couldn't help feeling that for Mama it might have been best. Dying before 3, 4, 5 years of new babies could make her older and ever more tired. Make her worry more about the burden she was leaving on her girls. Only because of Mabel, who did everything Butcher wanted, tending the house and working a job, too, had Bertie been able to go back to school. Her sister had just stepped into Mama's shoes, seeing to all the cooking, the washing, and the dreaming for Bertie's future. How could she tell Mabel that going on to high school didn't matter to her? She wasn't quick like her sister was. Mabel loved everything about books and learning, but Bertie struggled mightily whenever she had to read something. All she really wanted was to make a life with Wallace, to stand by him and raise his children and smile on him until death. Bertie reached again into the open drawer until her hand found the fold of tissue paper protecting Wallace's ribbon. Mabel would be in the kitchen now getting breakfast, and Jim Butcher would be sitting on the chair beside the bed that used to be Mama's bed, pulling on his work boots, probably figuring up some new way he could make Bertie feel small, some reason to call her stupid and clumsy. Like the way he did when he saw her slosh a little milk out of the pail after stumbling in a rut outside the barn. But Bertie didn't care. She stood before the mirror, drawing the ribbon out to its full length. It was beautiful against the dress. She might wear the